was a little Spanish flea, a record star, He heard of singers like Beatles, the Chipmunks he seen on TV.
Welcome to the Game Plan Online. My name is Nick Dillon and this is Paul Mitchell, and we're back after a couple of weeks off. Refreshed, Mitch?
Yep.
Excellent. Ready to go?
I am ready to go.
Beautiful. Well, we're going to get straight into it today because we've got the independent finals on this weekend. So we've got the second semi between Brownsville and Lirrup, and we'll get stuck into that, Mitch. Now, these two teams have hardly been separated all year. Brownsville won the first one, Lirrup won the second one. And it's been really, really close, and they match up really well against each other. So the ins for Lirrup are Sam Atkins and Tristan Jackson, so you'd think they'd go straight to the midfield. They've been named on a half-forward flank, but I can't see those guys playing much out of the midfield. And for Brownsville, Craig Hyde's been named, though he's got a bit of a suspect shoulder. He dislocated it a couple of weeks ago, but they're running the risk of bringing him back in. He must be right to go there. But if
I understand that, yeah, he will play. So.
Well, if he is in, that's a massive in for them, because it just otherwise there's too much work down back for their guys to do, because Lirrup's forward line's so potent. So, what are your thoughts on this one, mate? Like, you wouldn't have seen a huge amount of these teams this year, but yeah, what are your thoughts?
I'm told Brownsville's got their strongest side of the year,
Yep.
and possibly the strongest Brownsville side we've seen since their premiership year.
Yeah, it's 15 years.
Yeah, so they're pretty confident down there, which they've got every right to be. Had an excellent season.
Yep.
But I look at the class in that Lirrup side, and class around the footy, class up forward. Don't know much about their back line, I've got to say, but yeah, I'm not going to tip against Lirrup. I expect Lirrup to win, but it should be a fantastic game and a good advertisement for the competition, I would have thought.
Definitely, it's going to be high quality. I think for the key for Brownsville is definitely shutting down Lirrup's playmakers, and it always is. If they can get Tyson Lindsay out of the game, Travis Wilson, Kenny Carpney, guys like that, I think it's going to make a massive difference. And Dean Hill's another one. He's been in great form up forward. So for Brownsville to win, they really need to shut those guys out. I think Brownsville's got more overall depth than Lirrup.
Okay.
Across the ground, and down back, like we mentioned Craig Hyde, but Phil O'Connell does a really good job down back there as well. Michael Reichstein coming off the half-back flank, he just gives them so much run off there, and is a good ball user too. I think Lirrup will win, but yeah, it could go either way. And like you say, down in Rook on Saturday, it's going to be a cracking game down there. So yeah, going to the next game, Mitch.
Okay, so there's the sudden death first semi-final on Sunday, and it's at Lirrup, and it's Ramco versus Paringa, and of course Ramco played Paringa in the dead game last weekend, essentially a dead game, and came away with a huge win. But look, a number of changes to Paringa this week, and we'd expect a much more competitive game. And Dilo, you can probably tell me about some of the ins, and I guess we can go through them now. From last week's side, this is into the side this week. Andrew Lloyd, great player we all know. Jason Griggs, Peter Siddle from the Renmark Footy Club, being a good recruit. Kurt Maitland, Aaron Tripney, Joel Watson, I know, is another important player. Dilo, Sam Fran as well. Brendan Goff, Benson Reinitson, Matt Tregeagle, Adam Forbes, and Benjamin Gudgeon, so that's a fair mouthful there of ins.
Yeah, we've got a lot of ins. The problem we've had is they haven't played much together. So how they gel on Sunday, we don't know. We just hope it all comes together. We're just fortunate enough to get through last week's game against Ramco with no injuries. That was the main thing. We were worried about the scoreboard. Obviously, wasn't real flash in our favour, but we hope that we can turn that around on Sunday.
Any of those guys underdone? Like if it was a regular season game, would you have all of those guys in, or
maybe one or two, but the rest of them are good to go, which is good. A lot of them have been away through work. Pete Siddle's only played 5 games. He's been away through work, and we've really missed him over the second half of the season, because one of the weeks he was back was actually a bye weekend, so we really missed him. But the other guys, they should mostly be good to go. Benson Reinitson's a big in for us. He can give us plenty run off half-back.
Half-back, right.
Yeah.
And what about Sam Fran?
Yeah, Sam Fran, he'll play on the wing, and his kicking is just immaculate. He just doesn't miss targets. So it's really important for us for him to get the footy in his hands, so we can deliver to our forwards.
Ramco, the ins at this stage, we've got Robert O'Gorman, who's pretty good
Yeah,
player.
very good player.
And Steve Hefford, who well-known player in RFL circles. Ramco have done nothing wrong really, have they, this year?
No, I mean, they come from the bottom last year. You know, they didn't win a game. Barry Gavinish has come in there, you know, made some changes along with the committee, and taken the club forward. And you know, the result is they're playing in finals this weekend. It's a massive effort from the Ramco Footy Club. Robbo Gorman, you know, he's been a really big pickup for him. There's a bit of a concern over his shoulder, I believe, but you know, if he's good to go in the final, he's good to go in the final. So I think he'll line up in the middle. They've named him in the forward pocket, but I think he'll line up in the middle.
Yep.
And Steve Hefford, the other big in for them. You know, he just takes a bit of pressure off Maxi Badek up forward.
Yeah.
So both big inclusions for Ramco.
Yeah, and of course, Back's been in magnificent form, particularly the second half of the season. Got some plans for him, Dylan?
Well, Brendan Goff will go to him.
Yep.
He did the job in the first game. Got beaten on the day, but a lot of that come down to our lack of pressure on their ball winners as well. So they had some pretty good delivery to him, and it was the same last week. He's kicked 19 goals against us this year in 2 games. So we're going to have to shut him down to win this one.
All right, look, even though I expect it to be much closer than last week, I'm going to stick with Ramco, and of course you're going to go with Paringa. So good luck, Dylan, and good luck to Ramco as well.
Thanks, mate. So we're getting to the Riverland games now, and obviously it's the last 3 games of the year, and there's not a huge amount of bearing on ladder positions or anything like that, bar the Berry v Loxton game. So we'll spend a bit of time on that. Now, so the winner of this one obviously gets a double chance. They could still actually finish top if North lose to Renmark, but I mean that's of little consequence. So the ins for Berry, the big one's Adam Beecham back in the side. It's a massive in for them just to really bolster their midfield. And Brad Doling comes back in, and the old Pelican Greg White down back as well. So. And not sure of the outs for Berry, but I think they're pretty much at full strength. Now for Loxton, they've got quite a few back in with Reece Mitchell, huge inclusion in the midfield for them. Big tall Craig Fisher, Joel Brown coming into the forward line, and Brock Schubert in the forward line as well. But Nathan Peterson-Gray will miss the game with injury. So Nick Uren was expected to miss, but he's been named. So he must have come up alright at training on Thursday night. So what are your thoughts, mate?
Oh, gee, hats off to Berry for what they've done this year. I think they've surprised everybody except the people at the club themselves. Won the first 5, had a bit of a down patch, and now they're starting to hit some form again. Beecham's a huge in. Saw him play earlier this year, and he's just outstanding, just class. And look, they look pretty close to full strength. Loxton, they've been a bit up and down as well. They sort of hit that patch where we thought, wow, Loxton they're probably going to not lose too many more games for the rest of the year, and they've just had a lot of unavailabilities. And that's just unbalanced them a bit, I think. Peterson Gray's good, but probably someone they might be able to cover for. It's a really difficult game to tip. What are your thoughts, Dylan?
Well, not having seen them, just looking at the ins, I mean, Loxton's got some good ins, but Berry are at full strength. I think the last 2 or 3 weeks have sort of been building towards this. I think Berry to win, and you touched on it, what a great effort it is by Berry to do what they've done and get up there, but it's the same with Loxton. You've got to remember both these teams missed out on the top 4 last year. For them to be playing off for a double chance this year, I think it's a massive effort from both clubs. But I reckon Berry for me.
And who do you reckon North would rather play in a second semi-final next week?
Probably Berry. I think they probably prefer Berry. But the way the top 4 is,
anyone could be anyone.
Exactly. Wakery, they're going to be sitting in 4th, and they're quite capable of winning the whole thing. So you wouldn't be too comfortable sitting with whoever you play, I don't think.
You almost talked me into tipping Berry.
Almost.
Yeah. In fact, I think I will. I'm going to tip Berry.
2 for Berry. There we go. Beautiful. You got the next one, mate?
Yeah, it's Wakery versus Barnborough Monash. Barnborough won their first 2 against Wakery this year, didn't they?
Yeah, I reckon they did. Yep.
And then got pumped last time. Out of the finals race now, Barnborough Monash officially, and Wakery destined to play in the first semi-final. So ins for Wakery at this stage: Clark McCaddy, Jacob Hahn, and Justin Della Zoppa. And for Barnborough, ins Alex Norman, Cody Britton, Jake Schwartzberger, Connor Smart, and Brody Frid. And some outs there include Ken Carpenter, Sam Butterworth, and Stevie Burton. So some quality out there. And Wakery, Jim Thompson, Tommy Truscott, and Elliot Modra. So how do you see this one going, Dylan?
With those outs, it's going to be hard for Barnborough to get the job done. I think they they gave it their all last week. Just didn't get over the line in the end against Loxton. From what I understand, they had their chances too. So, but losing guys like Carpney and Steve Burton, I think is certainly going to have their chances
this season.
Yeah, Jim Thompson's a big out for Waikerie though, hamstring I think. So they'd want to get him up and about for finals because we all saw what he did last year in finals.
Mm. Yeah. So who's your tip?
Waikerie. Yeah.
I'll stick with the Magpies too.
Yeah, beautiful. And the last game of the round, Loxton North versus Renmark, top v bottom. A bit to play for there for the Rovers, a bit of pride. Could potentially be John Personos's last game as coach. He's coached the last 3 years down there. Obviously they've advertised and he's still in the mix, but who knows what the Rovers are going to go with for next year. So hopefully the boys will be wanting to do it for purse. So the ins for Renmark, Russell Menz, Adam Jackson, Ashley Linden comes back in, bit of strength down back, Sam Steed probably go forward, and Troy Britton. And for Loxton North, the ins are Andrew Hume, Dylan Elethriadis and James Sells, the ruckman. Big Pickles Arnold's out for Loxton North, so you'll miss that one. And Kyle Worsfold, 100 games, so congratulations to Kyle on a great achievement. He's become a mainstay of the Panthers lineup. So yeah, this one you'd think Loxton North would get home. It'd be nice to see Renmark cause a bit of an upset here. Yeah,
I've seen Renmark once or twice this year, and on paper that seems like one of their stronger sides. Would you say?
I think so. Both the Bollenhagens are in, Kyle Parks is in. There's not too many youngsters in there, and that's probably the key. Guys like Lockie Lohman, Mitchell Jenke are out of the side, so that I'd say they're close to full strength, but maybe not quite there.
And look, not a lot to play for Loxton North either, and Renmark nothing to lose, so you've got to balance that up.
Yep.
Probably still have to tip North, but one of those games, anything could happen.
Yeah, I'm tipping North as well, but I'd just love to see the Rover boys get up in the last one for them for the year.
For sure.
Beautiful. Well, that's it from us. Hope you enjoy your weekend at the footy, whether at the Riverland A-grade games or the independent finals. And make sure you grab a copy of the game plan at the gate, all the team lists. Beautiful editorial from our man Paul Mitchell this week as well. So enjoy.
Good on you.
There was a little Spanish flea, a record star, Tito Rifi. He heard of singers like Beatles, the Chipmunks he seen on TV. Why not a little Spanish flea?